Is it hard to move abroad? Today we're going to talk about 4 reasons why moving abroad is simpler than you think. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Stephanie Perry and I'm the creator of House Sitter School. I'm a year-round house sitter. Right now I'm house sitting in Mexico and I help Black women take a career break to travel on a budget. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and make sure that you turn on notifications. Ring that notification bell so that you'll be notified when I post a new video. Welcome. Recently, I was one of the hosts of Exodus Summit along with Rashida Dow from Sheeta's on the Loose. It was wonderful. Thank you for asking. Exodus Summit is a summit for Black women travelers who are looking to take a sabbatical away from the U.S. or who are looking to move abroad to become expats permanently. What we learned from the summit is that quite a few of our attendees were looking to become expats. We're looking to move away from the U.S. permanently and just had an idea that this was a more difficult process than it actually is. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about things that are in place today in today's world that make moving abroad a lot easier, a lot simpler than you probably think it is. So if you have questions on how to become an expat, how to expatriate, how to move abroad, moving out of the United States, moving overseas, you're in the right place. And I'm so glad that you're here that I have a gift for you. I have a Work From Anywhere toolkit. It's a list of the tools and resources that I use and that Rashida uses to run our businesses from around the world, which is actually Mexico most of the time, but from wherever we want to be. So click the link in the description to get your toolkit. It's at exodussummit.com/toolkit. The links to the resources that I'm going to mention in this video are right there for you. All right, so let's get started. Reason number 1 why moving abroad is much simpler than you think is that the cost of living in a lot of the world is so much cheaper. We're used to taking vacations, and so we kind of price a place based on what we spent there on vacation. So we're like, oh, I was there for a week and it cost me $1,000. This is not an inexpensive country, but perhaps it is. In the toolkit, I list a couple of our favorite resources for checking out what is the cost of living in a different country. The Earth Awaits and Nomad List and Numbeo are fantastic resources. You can just get online, check out a city or country, and find out what the cost of living is there for locals, what's the cost of living for someone who is living there as an expat, what's the cost of living for someone who's living there short term as a digital nomad. In a lot of the world, you can live permanently, you can live full time on the amount of money you're spending just on housing in the United States. Rashida says that all the time. It's a perfect way to explain that. So in your toolkit, check out a couple of those resources, plug in some places that seem interesting to you, and find out how much it is actually going to cost you to live there. Of course, there are whole regions of the world where it's really inexpensive, like Southeast Asia, except for Singapore, I'll say. I would exclude Singapore from that category. But Central and South America, largely very reasonable, and Mexico, which is North America. But there are parts of Europe and parts of Africa where you can live on a lot less. Portugal is my favorite place. If you've seen countries where Black travelers feel welcome, you know how much I love Portugal. Portugal is a place where you can live inexpensively, but also like the former Soviet countries. I don't know if I'm saying this right, like Croatia and Serbia and Montenegro and that region, also really inexpensive. Poland is also a place where you can live on less. So if you think that you'd like to live overseas, if you think that you'd like to leave the U.S. and live somewhere else, but you think that means that you're going to need to have access to the same amount of money that you're going to need here, probably not. It's quite possibly going to be a lot cheaper to live someplace else. This means that your expat plan can get put into motion a little quicker. It doesn't have to become just a dream. It can become an actual plan for you once you know how much things are going to cost and how much money you're going to need to bring in to live someplace else. So that brings us to reason number 2 why it is easier to move abroad than you think. Reason number 2 is remote work. We're at a point now where a lot of us know that remote work not only is a possibility for us, but is a reality. You don't have to find a job in another country before you can move to another country. You may already have the job that will support you in your new place. I saw a video from Dels Ogun on working abroad opportunities called How to Get a Job Before Moving Abroad. And so she's got some good information if you're determined that you want to get a job in another country. Let me tell you, though, that the ideal situation is to earn U.S. dollars, right? Work for a company or business or work for yourself and earn U.S. dollars and then live on the economy in another country with a lower cost of living, right? Earn U.S. dollars, pay your rent in pesos. If you're looking to find a job in another country before you move abroad, you're, number one, adding a lot of stress to the situation. Number two, you're just taking a lot more time. Taking time to find a job abroad is wasted time where you could be actually living abroad. Don't be afraid of remote work. It's a wonderful way to move abroad and know that you're going to have income to support yourself before you get there. Of course, in the Work From Anywhere toolkit, we've got some of our favorite resources to go to find remote work that you can do from anywhere. We've also got some tech and some like tools that you're going to need to make sure that everything is good for you. You know, make sure you've got good internet access, good phone access, so that you don't have any struggle with working remotely. It can be as easy as working from your own living room in wherever you live already. Okay, so we know that the cost of living in a lot of places makes moving abroad easier, and we know that remote work also makes moving abroad easier. The third reason that moving abroad is simpler than you think is that there are communities of people all over the World Wide Web, all over the internet, who are sharing information and who are helping people with their transitions into their new cities or countries. Find a community of people in the place you want to go and talk with them. They're sharing, they're giving information. Find them, talk to them, ask them your questions. You don't have to go into this blind. I think that sometimes when people think about moving abroad, they think about going someplace where they don't know anyone, they don't have any contacts, they don't have any connections, maybe they don't speak the language, and they have no idea how things work. It's 2020, at least. You don't have to travel like this. You don't have to move like this. Reach out to other people. They're giving information all over the internet. People like me, I'm also giving information all over the internet to tell you that not only is this possible for you, but it's easier than you think it is. And hey, let me answer your questions. Let me help you along the way. I love looking for information on the internet, as you can probably guess. Honeybee has a video called Moving Checklist and How to Move Overseas. And one of the favorite tips that she gives in that video is finding a community. Reach out to a community of people who are already where you're going or considering going. That will make things so much, not only easier for you, but so much more enjoyable. Those communities can help you find the right city, can give you information, help you find the right location where you want to move, the right neighborhood, maybe even the right exact apartment or exact place to stay. Don't be afraid to reach out to other communities of people. You can find these communities easiest on Facebook, in Facebook groups. Like, just go to Facebook and type in expats and whatever country or whatever city that you're looking for, and you will find probably like at least a half a dozen groups. Join them, find out which ones you like, which ones have people that are helpful, and get in there. Do your research, ask your questions, and communicate, network, share with each other. I've been promising a video on my favorite expat groups. That's coming, okay? So be patient. So make sure you're subscribed, because I'll list some of my favorite expat groups for Black women. These communities make it so much easier to move abroad. And reason number 4 why moving abroad is simpler than you think is that there are residency visas just for you. There are visas out there designed for people like you who are looking to either move to a country or visit a country as a digital nomad for a few months or a couple years. You don't have to wait and get citizenship, which is something a lot of people think. You need to be a citizen of a country to move there and stay there. You don't need to try to get a work visa, which can be difficult because to give you a work visa, an employer has to prove that they don't have employees who can do the job right here in their country. Right, so you don't have to deal with the work visa situation. There are digital nomad visas. There are residency visas for retirees, and retirees doesn't necessarily mean retirement age. It just means you have a little cash. The country that you're looking to go to may very well have a residency visa that's perfect for you. It just takes a little research and knowing which sources to trust and which sources to disregard. This is where Exodus Summit comes in handy for you. So Exodus Summit may be over, but the party's not over. We're still helping people live their travel dreams, become expats, or take a sabbatical abroad for extended periods of time. So Exodus Expat Workshops may be the exact answer that you need for your question about how do I navigate the residency situation. We have workshops on, right now, visa processes in 5 countries: Mexico, Portugal, France, Costa Rica, and the Cayman Islands. So if you're interested in investigating the residency process for one or more of these countries, check out Exodus Expat Workshops. You can find information about them, of course, in your toolkit, but at exodussummit.com/workshops. exodussummit.com/workshops. The link to that is, of course, in the description. We're talking not only about which visa is right for you, but we're talking about the actual visa application process, and we're connecting you with people who have gone through the process in that country to help you navigate the system. We have a couple of other workshops as well. We have a workshop on teaching abroad and teaching English online. So if you're thinking about moving abroad as a teacher, either online or as a teacher in another country, in a foreign country, check out the workshops as well. We have information on like knowing which certification you need, if any, and how to pick the right platform to teach online. Teaching English is a fantastic way to see the world. I spoke with Tanya Chen about that in a previous video. I'll link to that up here. If that's something that you would be interested in as well, check out the Exodus Expat Workshops. Each workshop is separate, okay? So it's not one broad workshop covering every country. As of today, when I'm recording this, the countries that we're covering separately in individual workshops, again, are Mexico, Portugal, France, Costa Rica, and the Cayman Islands. If I didn't name the country that you're interested in, check the website anyway, because we may have added more since I've recorded this video. I invite you to join the workshop that's most interesting to you, because I want you to get some progress towards your dream. I don't want this to stay a dream for you. I don't want this to be something that you regret not doing when you had the chance. As we've just talked about, because of the low cost of living in a lot of the world, because of the ease of remote work, because of amazing communities out there sharing information, and because of visa and residency options that exist in a lot of different countries, moving abroad can be a lot simpler than you think, and it could happen a lot sooner than you would expect. Don't forget to download your Work From Anywhere toolkit. The resources that make working from anywhere possible and enjoyable are all listed in the toolkit. I hope we see you at the Exodus Expat Workshops. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
There are remote work sites where you can go and find remote job opportunities. I will list them in the